Hiya, how is everyone? This is my wild garlic I harvested today, Allium ursinum. However, you can use Allium trichocum or any kind of wild garlic that suits you. In the place of my wild garlic, you can use your ramps. That's actually very same thing, it's just relation. Normally, I just love eating it in its fresh raw way. Then I love making pesto or wild garlic crackers that you've seen in my previous videos. Or what else? I'm using it in the place of the bread spread, or I don't know. Wild garlic soup is beautiful. Just plain wild garlic soup, or wild root, or just root veggie soup with wild garlic. Now this recipe is very handy. I love using it. All you need is just wild garlic and fresh raw cabbage. I washed it perfectly. I made sure there is only wild garlic, nothing else, because the place where it was growing was covered with snowdrops as well, so I made sure there is no snowdrop leaf. And there was also there was growing ivy as well, which, you know, it's kind of poison to eat. So just make sure that you have only wild garlic, or you have just ramps over there, nothing else. So I washed it, but I went kind of plant by plant. I just made sure there is nothing else there. So once it's perfectly washed, since it will be fermenting, you want to make sure it's completely perfect clean, and no dirt from the soil and so on and so on, because your fermentation wouldn't have to go right. It could very easily go wrong. It could rotten, so make sure it's clean. Always wash your hands clean, everything that you're using, because it's about fermentation. So make sure that your glass jars or your crock pot is clean. This is the crock pot I'm using. That's a very small one, but I'm using 3 size bigger one for this wild garlic kraut. So this is washed. I will just chop it, and I love using those stems, so I'm gonna use them in the place of the spring leaves, spring onion, sorry, in the place of the spring onion. So I will be chopping all those stems of the wild garlic, because they are really very good substitute of spring onion, and they actually taste very good once they're fermented with the cabbage. What I did already, I shredded 3 heads, or well, it doesn't matter how many, because the amount of the cabbages, it depends on the volume, or how big is your crock pot. My crock pot is not as huge as, I don't know, someone else would be probably using, but it all usually lasts for the whole year. So okay, I chopped everything perfectly. Leaves can be chopped even in the like, they don't have to be so tiny, so it's nicely chopped, the whole part of the wild garlic. That smell is beautiful. It's real garlic. And I have my cabbage ready here. It's all shredded. I have it in here, you see. I already started adding wild garlic in it. So I have raw cabbage here, 3 heads of raw cabbage. They are shredded, lightly salted over, and some onion, just regular cooking onion, roughly 3-4 onions. Now I will mix it up with all this wild garlic, so wild garlic and cabbage, and then you can just sprinkle with caraway or cumin, whatever you have. Caraway or cumin, I think it's just relation, isn't it? Someone would add pieces of apple, nicely perfectly washed little apples. Use little apples, and once they are fermented, within I'd say 3-4 weeks. It's beautiful. Those apples that will be fermented with your cabbage, they will be very savory, very nice taste. I will try to do probably half portion of cabbage and half portion of wild garlic. You can add whatever you wish, but I keep doing this for the past, I don't know, probably 12, 13, 14 years. Or maybe I can't remember. Well, I've been doing this for a good while already, and the result is we really love it. It's always eaten quite fast once it's fermented. So you will mix it everything together, and once it's mixed very good. So you probably can't see it, but just imagine you need probably half portion of wild garlic or ramps and half portions of cabbage, or even if you're just adding little, I don't know, 1 full hand of the wild garlic or ramps, that's enough for your cabbage. So once it's done, try to massage it good so it will release juice. And once you see that the juice is released, you can get your crock pot and you can push it in the crock pot very well. Keep pushing it very good. In the old way, in the folk recipes, you can find the recipes, instructions that they used to wash their feet and they were walking in the crock pot so that it really released juice perfectly and it was fermenting well. Then of course your feet needs to be clean because of the hygiene thing and because you don't want fermentation go wrong way. So but my crock pot is really small. I was trying actually to get Linda to vogue in it, but she was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna vogue in the cabbage. You will be voguing in the cabbage. I was just trying, to make fun, and I wanted to get her involved because last year she was walking in my cabbage with her feet clean, of course. So that was fun and she loved it. She's not doing it this year for me. Okay, Mama can do it herself. So I will still add another probably 3 handful of wild garlic. I will mix it all together. I will get a crock pot and I will push it in that crock pot. Very good. My crock pot is actually ready. Just give me a second if you don't mind waiting. And I have it here in the corner. This is my crock pot. For this kind of crock pot I am using, I will fill it up. I will, as you're pushing it in, make sure it's really pushed till you get to the top of it. And then I have few cabbage leaves that I didn't cut. I will cover it with the cabbage leaf and maybe I will use some weight like stones. Then I have the lid on the top. It needs to be covered with the lid that goes on the top, and always keep water in it. In this little, you see, in this little yolk, keep water there all the time. You will hear the way it's fermenting, bubbling for the first probably 2-3 weeks, and then it will get more slowly. It won't be fermenting as fast, as active as at the beginning, in the room temperature. Then when the fermentation is done, probably within, I would say 2-3 months, but it will be ready within 2-3 weeks. Or I mean, you can start tasting it within 2-3 weeks. It will be already sour. It will be already sour, but I keep it in the crock pot for the whole year till it's eaten. As longer it's in the crock pot, more savory it is, because it keeps fermenting. If you want to stop fermentation, then move it in the cooler place. So then I just move it out in the cooler place, and that's it. You can do the whole thing with any kind of veggies. I used to ferment dandelion roots, burdock roots. They're fantastic. Beetroot with carrot and cabbage, turmeric or ginger. I keep adding any spices, or I just ferment wild weeds like chickweed, plantain, dandelion leaves, any kind of wild plants with the cabbage. So you can use your imagination and whatever you have available whatever is available for you, just use it. So okay, so that's it. That's my one favorite recipe I always do every year. Fermented wild garlic cabbage, wild garlic kraut. I call it wild garlic kraut. You can always add any kind of spices you love, but here what I need is just sea salt. Did I say that I sprinkle it with the sea salt just lightly? That's all. No measures. I don't measure it, so no measurements. And that's it, really. Don't add too much caraway spices because it will get too bitter. Then what I forgot to say, if you have horseradish, you can slice it and you can use it at the bottom of the crock pot, in the middle and on the top. That root will help the whole cabbage and plants in it stay more crispy. They won't be like a wet towel, you know what I mean? So but you can ferment it without horseradish, as I'm today, because I have no horseradish available. It's fantastic still. It's still fantastic. It's still good. So, right, okay. Maybe I helped you. Maybe I gave you some kind of inspiration. Maybe that's the thing that you keep doing every year and it's very famous for you. And you're like, oh, why she's telling us this? We knew this already. But I just thought that someone might like it. You can use even garlic instead of wild garlic or ramps, as I said. I used to ferment Jerusalem artichokes. I shredded it thinly, and it was beautiful in it, in this sauerkraut, in this fermentation process. It was very nice there as well. So you can as I said, you can alter, you can substitute, you can actually use whatever you have available and whatever suits you. If you have lots of veggies of some kind, just use it. If it's organic and nice and clean and it was never sprayed, and you know that it's a very good source. I try to use mostly wild edibles, but whatever is available for you. That's it. So happy foraging and happy spring as well. Bye everyone.